So, film is better than life. That's what Godard said one day. Film is better than life when films are good. And here we have wonderful films to talk about. Let's take a look at what the French and international critics have to say about the films in competition this year. But for the time being, here we are for the Photocall for Aki Kaurismaki. His film in competition this year is called Fallen Leaves. He's from Finland. He has a finished film with him, and it's called Kuolit Blöt or something like that in Finnish. But in English, it's called Fallen Leaves. And here on the screen, you have the crew. It's the story of a woman who's single. She works in a supermarket in Helsinki. One night, she meets a worker who is a lonely guy, alcoholic as well. He's on the far right of the screen next to the leading lady. Despite all of their difficulties communicating, they build a rather unique relationship. That's Kaurismaki, the director. He's in fine form this year, 76th Cannes Film Festival, strolling around. I don't know whether you saw the red carpet yesterday, but it was quite delightful and unusual and charming, I would say. They're doing a bit of a dance there for the photographers. The actors in the film are Jussi, Vatanen and Alma, Pöysti. Those are the ones you can see on the screen there. They're the leading characters. So what do the press have to say about this film? Well, it's a little gem in the tradition of Chaplin. It's a story about love as a final refuge. It's a crazy story, according to another French newspaper, and Kaurismaki is bewitching us once again with a very charming love story. And another magazine here talks about a masterpiece which instates love as the only antidote to war, because the fiction takes place today, and of course we have the war in Ukraine as the backdrop. We hear it on the radio. The action takes place in Finland, in Helsinki. Kaurismaki is a huge director. Of course, we've seen him many times in Cannes before. He came in 1996, let's say, with Drifting Clouds. He was also here in 2002, The Man Without a Past. He came back with Le Havre, a film which was a story in 2011 all about migrants, including a shoeshine man who helped some migrants, played by André Wilms, who sadly passed away recently. That was in 2011 for Le Havre. So here you see the director surrounded by his lead actors. He's often said that he's made half of his films when completely drunk and the other half when he was sober. We don't know what kind of state he's in this morning, but he looks pretty healthy there. He's got a shine in his eye. And he is with the two leading actors from this film, who Jussi Vatanen, the male lead, is really well known in Finland. So what's going on now? Bit of zip trouble with the jacket there. Aki Kaurismaki is on his own there. So yes, I was talking about Jussi Vatanen. He's one of the best-known actors in Finland. He acted in Lapland Odyssey, which won a lot of prizes in the Alpe d'Huez in France, but also elsewhere in the world. It's a story about a couple. The woman's fed up with her husband not working, sitting at home on settee all day, so she sends him out on a quest to find a TV decoder. And it was a very successful adventure. So we know that Aki Kaurismaki has been very influenced by Godard, Chaplin also, he loves movies. He loves to go and watch the films made by others. And if we ask him what film is like, when we see a Kaurismaki film, well, what are we looking at? Well, there's usually a good structure. There's very great precision. The lighting is amazing in Kaurismaki's films. And so the story is told in images. There's relatively little conversation, and that's, I think, one of the unique features of his films. So here we have the couple, the leading actors from the films. I've already mentioned Jussi Vatanen, who is very, very well known in Finland. He's also well known because he acted in The Unknown Soldier, which was the best-selling film at the box office in Finland. It earned over 13.5 million euros, and the film analyzes how Finland behaved during the Second World War. Finland, as you know, had to give some land to Russia, and in order to get that land back, it joined forces with Germany. That film, The Unknown Soldier, was a real bestseller in Finland, and it's called The Unknown Soldier, starring Jussi Vatanen. So let's get back to the critics. The festival is already in its 8th day, and the press reports about this film are excellent, but the surprise is to be found in the foreign press, because this film, Fallen Leaves, has got the best score out of all of the films screened in Cannes at the festival this year.
For Belgium.
Coming in at number 2 is the Glazer film, followed by the Ceylan film, and then the others. So Anatomy of a Fall, for example, by Justin Trier. So this film here, this tragicomedy called Fallen Leaves, it's a rather acidic love story. It is perhaps in the lead. It's taking the lead right now, and it could be in the running for many of the prizes. The story is interesting. There are 2 barmaids mixing cocktails, and one says to the other, says men are like pigs, and the other cocktail waitress replies, no, pigs are brighter and more interesting. So there's a lot of good, absurd conversations in the film. So it's very, very funny, and the audience have been laughing their socks off at the world premiere screening here in Cannes. It's also a story about alcoholism. That's one of the obstacles to their love story. Bit of a challenge there. On the screen are the 2 actors who play the couple in the love story, Alma Pöysti and Jussi Vatanen. It is to be noted that Kaurismaki films are quite unique insofar as he often talks about the proletariat, quote unquote. He's directed a trilogy on proletariat, of those people who are left by the wayside, but they're not necessarily realistic films, and that's quite unusual, because when Ken Loach makes a film, or the Dardenne brothers, they also address the question of the proletariat, but they're very realistic in their approach to report on the challenges and the trials and tribulations of those poor sectors of the population, including migrants. That's not the case of Kaurismaki. He has pastel shades and colours. The structure of the film is quite different, and he puts a bit of magic back into what could otherwise be a rather crestfallen daily life. So here we see the crew entering into the festival hall. They're going to attend a press conference where they will be answering questions from the press. They might sign some autographs, who knows, posing for some photos. Here we have a couple of actors from Finland starring in the Kaurismaki film. Kaurismaki is lagging behind. He's not yet at the press conference. The actor and actress said they don't know when Kaurismaki is going to turn up.